Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
The Cowabunga Collection has landed on PSN as one of the 3 free games that come with that subscription. Please see the previous video for Sonic Colors. We have a similar format for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This one was extremely enjoyable. What's the 3rd game on PSN monthly? Don't talk about it. This is a bumper bonanza package featuring some of the oldest games in the franchise. It goes right back to the NES version, which wasn't 2-player. Project Manhattan was, apparently, though. The original had the swimming level, right, with the poisonous pink seaweed. And yeah, I lost my little mind on that. Amazing seeing some of those original Game Boy Color schemes as well. This package is massive. And it also features some versus fighters, which I have no experience with. But that first Turtles arcade game, still, I look on in awe. I can distinctly remember watching it on the cabinet and not being able to play it because there was loads of people around it, or I didn't have enough 10p's, something like that. It still feels a privilege to be able to play it. Can you believe? None of these games feature the April O'Neil downgrade either. So we said you weren't going to talk about Valgard. This is a straight arcade cabinet port, I think I'm right in saying. You can see the detail and animation immediately. That fire is incredible. Someone had to put those pixels in manually, and all of the movements on the enemies, even the sound design, everything is kind of top notch for the genre. This was a very good side-scrolling beat 'em up in its own right. There's also a button to rewind time on the shoulders. That's in some of them and not all of them. I'm not quite sure why that's there, maybe to help if you die, lose a life, want to see something again, but half the fun of these games is A, how difficult they are, B, how few lives you have, and C, how ridiculously harsh the continue system is. A lot of that is born from the devs having the player in mind to have to keep putting money into the machine. You would have some real low blows in early levels to insta-kill you, to make sure that you kept pumping money into them. A mindset that From Software is very gallantly carried forward. Only it's not more quarters you need, it's to get good. One of the classics is the Alien gun game, and we saw quite a bit of that in the Alien vs Predator side-scrolling beat 'em up. That doesn't stop me from having extremely pleasant memories of both of those games. This is Turtles in Time, again twofold, one of the more pleasanter of the series that I remember playing IRL and not watching from a distance on an arcade machine. I think this one is also 4-player. I think the cabinet has got this amazing design with the 4 sticks coming out the front. All of the cabinets were awesome for these games, to be fair. That's Krang's body robot, right? Not Krang himself. Well, we can't tell. He might be in the stomach, right? Operating it. I really wanted to see like a modern prosthetic remake of the films in the vein of something like Psycho Gorman, something R-rated with all of this creature gore, rocksteady, done as an actual grotesque monster. Some of it would just be amazing, particularly Krang himself. The cartoon was dark as hell when it came to subject matter and the freakish stuff that the enemy threw at the turtle. And on the subject of freaks, some of these characters and names I haven't seen for decades. I can't believe they haven't been brought back as well. Chrome Dome, Wingnut, we need to see these guys in a real-time decent film. There's also something very distilled about retro fighters. You haven't got to worry about this massive combo trigger, figure, meter, timed dodge, parry mechanics. You are just one button bashing each other, and it just boils down to actual timing and observing the other player. We again got way too into this. I did also get the chance to play some of the more obscure latter beat-em-up titles in that series. That was really awesome. Hyperstone Heist, I'd never even heard of him. And these animations, they still look pretty good. This just about clings on to something like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World or River City Girls, brackets 1. Okay, I know that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but we are going to move on to a far more modern Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, but in exactly the same genre, and dang, is it a beaut. Shredder's Revenge came out in 2022, and this game sports up to 6 local co-op players on the Switch, up to 4 on normal console. That's actually wrong. This game's on Game Pass, and I have it on PC, and it's got 6 slots to join on the local menu, which blew my frickin' mind. Does that mean there's 8 players on the Switch? It's 16 local co-op players on one screen. Cannot stress how cool that is to have on PC with that setup. You do not see that a lot. What does April O'Neil look like, more importantly? She still looks alright. Who played April O'Neil in the films? That would have been Megan goddamn Fox, because she was still banging Michael Bay. I am Couch Coop, and that last bit was for the lawyers. So me and Lewis, we knew this game was coming up. We played all of the retro titles first, and we prepared ourselves to try and work out what it is that makes this so much better than those aforementioned titles. Not in a derogatory way, and it falls down to a number of things, one of which is the input animations on your character. Like, it just looks amazing, very reactive, and of course you're using some very high frame rates with this, so again, the refresh and just how clean everything looks. Then you've got this little bit of meta on your special. You've got this blue bar which does point towards not taking damage, building it up, using it in bosses, and that's the last thing, is the bosses themselves, the arenas. They're really cool, they're well thought out, and they switch out the playstyles loads. This has got like awesome vehicle side-scrolling Battletoads sections in it. I don't want to take any shine off those other games because this wouldn't exist without them, but it's just such good polish. In actual fact, that campaign is so good and accessible for the entire family that I would hold it up against stuff like Streets of Rage 4 as an extremely strong beat 'em up, even out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle IP. And then you've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game series full stop. This one is kind of sitting right at the top of the pile because of its local co-op, because of its beat 'em up roots, and because of those added angles that they've put on to give it this awesome modern feel. And we haven't even got onto the awesome awareness and the sheer comedy genius of the NPC or enemy animations. All of the henchmen are doing something ridiculous. They're halfway through some menial task when you turn up in the level, and all of the sound bites and the stuff the bosses say, including the music on the skateboard level, it's got like a full-blown rap song. This game is a 5-star classic, and it only came out in 2022. So you got Sonic Mania and this, which are 2 essentials for any local co-op fan, I feel. I will link the Sonic Mania video in the description, and we do have another Tony Hawk's game coming up, and it could well be split screen.
Ninja, mutant, turtle, teenagers.
I will keep a very close eye on things and do expect my split fiction review soon. Yusuf, you cost me 45 quid. I put your games in front of 1 million people. 960,000 actually, Coop. I will, of course, see you down there.